Righto, Teliote champs, and what do we have here? We have the ROG Zephyrus M16, and I'm really excited for this laptop because this thing here is right up my alley. This crosses the line in between sort of like a content creation machine and a gaming laptop, and I mean a full-on gaming laptop. Of course, it's an ROG, it is a gaming laptop first, but this would be great for content creation as well. 16:10 display, 165 Hz. So the rule here at Teliote is if they send me something brand new, it gets unboxed. And do stay tuned because the specs of this are just bang on for someone that does want to, content create and game at the same time. So let's go on with it. And as usual, Asus do a great job, or ROG do a great job of displaying this laptop, showing it to you as it comes out the box there. So there it is. What does it say on there? PCI Express 4, 16:10, DCI P3, 100%. Whoa, 6 speakers, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, DDR4, 4800 megahertz, MUX switch, liquid metal, 100 watts fast charging through USB-C, Wi-Fi 6E. If that's not a spec sheet, I don't know what is. And of course, it does come with a 12900 and 3080 Ti. That's the only way to fly. You get your standard literature in there. So obviously you get the power cord for your country, and this is a 240 watter. So 240 watter, I expect some good things out of this. Hopefully 170 sort of watts total package there. Do remember though, this is a thin and light, okay? So it's not like a full-on thick gaming laptop. I mean, look how thin that is compared to the Chungus gaming laptops. So here it is in all its glory, and you got to say it looks pretty good, doesn't it? A nice matte finish on it. It is definitely thin, you'll notice that. M16, 16:10, 1600p display, 165 Hz, and the best thing about this, 100% P3. That's what takes this to the next level. So let's just have a look at some scenes on this display. This should be nice and bright. There you go, move that around a bit. The display looks awesome. Now it doesn't have sort of like a traditional matte or a glossy finish. It's sort of like a satin finish. So if I grab my light here, you can see that you can see the LEDs. So it's not 100% diffused, but it is also glossy as well. So it has more pop as well. To me, this is one of the most perfect balanced displays out there, having a high refresh, having, the color gamut and enough resolution in between sort of like, 4K and 1080p. It is just almost right in the sweet spot there of everything. And it's supposed to be up to 500 nits. I have to test that out as well. But you can see the display looks amazing. 16:10, I love it. Just do this. Okay, with this, I can go like that. And you'll see how it gets in bright areas and how dark it is around those areas. We'll drag this here. There should be some blooming when I drag this. Whoop. It's hard to drag. It's hard to drag with a trackpad. Oh, there we go. I don't have to press. But there you can see there's supposed to be some sort of trail around that. But you can see the surrounding areas, how dark they are. And the color just looks amazing. That just really pops. Yeah, that is nice. Just one other screen to see the nice brightness of this thing. And the colours. Oh man, that looks nice, doesn't it? It really does look nice. It's the perfect blend of everything. It's just a great display. Gaming and content creation, this is what you want. Now it comes with HDMI 2.0B, not sure why that's not 2.1, 2 times USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A, 1 USB-C that supports DisplayPort. We have Ethernet, Thunderbolt 4 and a micro SD card reader. Now this one here does have 32 gigs RAM. I believe one RAM is soldered and one you have to put in yourself. If you want it in dual channel, you can have up to 48 gigs RAM. The RTX 3080 Ti is 120 watts. We'll just test that out in a sec. And we have a 12900H processor. So yeah, this thing's jam-packed. It's just right up my alley. I can tell you the keyboard and trackpad feel good. Let's get into what performance output we're going to get. Now, one thing that's cool is this wallpaper feature that you have. It's the Aura wallpaper. And you can see there it's in Aura Sync. And I'm going to turn it off because it does affect the GPU there, but look at it, it just looks cool, right? It's amazing. So Let's just turn that off. And for the performance testing, I'm going to do it in turbo mode, okay? You can go into manual and, you know, maybe get a bit more out of it, but I'm going to put it in this turbo mode, which is maximum performance. It is in MUX switch mode as well. You can change it here to MUX switch or hybrid. We'll leave it in MUX switch for now. We just want to see how much power we can get from the CPU and GPU. All right, so let's just hit that CPU with the full load here, Cinebench. Let's have a listen. Now it is in turbo mode. Of course, in silent mode, you barely hear this thing, but in turbo mode, you will hear it. Yeah, turbo mode. Doing over 105 watts. It was more than that before. It was peaking at about 115, 96 degrees. It has liquid metal, of course, so that's good. It's not hitting 100 degrees while maintaining 105 watts, which is really good. So I'm expecting a Cinebench score of 17,000. That's what you'd expect for a 12900H. In a thin and light, maybe a bit less, but you know, we'll see how we go here. Still 94 degrees, 103 watts, so maintaining the range. I love that. And what do we got here for Cinebench? 17,480. Now, I'm running telemetry and it is charging a little bit now. Now let's hit the GPU with 100% load, and it's supposed to be 120 watt. And remember, it's not going to be 120 watts continuous. That's its boost, so it should boost up to 120 watts under full load. This is in its turbo mode, of course, and you can see there 110 watts it's doing. So that's what I would expect. I would expect it to boost to 120. It is a thin and light, actually 2 kilos, right? Thin and light, this thing. So I would expect, compared to a thick beefy Chungus gaming laptop, it's not going to perform like that because it is, you know, a 120 watt. And yeah, doing 115 watts, awesome, 115 watts. So now let's hit Cinebench and see what happens when you hit CPU and GPU together. Now the reality is this is sort of like a test that really doesn't make sense anymore with dynamic boost and that, because you're never going to get the CPU power like you used to get. You used to be able to put heaps into the CPU and then that would affect the GPU, but we're doing 100 watts on the GPU at the moment, 102 watts, 70 degrees, and we seem to be limited here to about 35 watts on the CPU, 40 watts around there. It peaks at 40 watts. That's what's going to happen in gaming. You're going to be at 35, 45 watts on the CPU. That's what most gaming laptops do these days. And then you get the full beans on the GPU, which we're still doing 102. It was 107 before, so pretty much the same on the GPU, maybe less 10 watts there. So yeah, I'm happy with that so far. Now listen to it, and I'll put it in silent mode. This is CPU and GPU together, 100%. I'll just turn off the CPU. So there you go, in quiet mode. After being hammered, .48 decibels. So yeah, it is what it is. Stay tuned for my full review. I like this thing so far. Catch you in the next one. Tally ho.